Hello. Now we're going to be reading from the Fleetwood Weekly News, which was issued on Wednesday, May the 20th, with June and Phil on the control. Marine Hall on crest of a wave. Ambitious proposals to extensively revamp Fleetwood's Marine Hall, including the provision of a new cafe and outdoor seating, have now been lodged with Wyre planners. The works are part of the wider-reaching waterfront master plan, which aims to enhance the town's coastal area by creating a better connection between the seafront and the town centre. The application is for the creation of an outdoor decked seating area with associated stepped access and ramp and external alterations to create a new entrance and window openings. It includes a retractable awning to support the provision of a new cafe, as well as an extension of existing WC block and creation of new rear entrance lobby within the colonnade. Last year, the Grade 2 listed Art Deco building opened in 1935, celebrate its 90th anniversary. A revised planning statement was submitted on May the 14th by Cassidy and Action Group Limited on behalf of applicants Wyre Council. It states, the proposals would bring the bar and kitchen area of the building back into use as a cafe. Internally, the existing kitchen would be partitioned to create an indoor seating area for 28 seats, with associated serving area. New WC facilities would be created within the entrance lobby for use by visitors to the cafe. Externally, an outdoor decking area would be provided for use by the cafe, supporting an additional 26 seats. Both ramped and stepped access would be installed to facilitate access to the decking area, which would provide access into the cafe through the retained main entrance doors and a newly created secondary entrance. The retractable awning above part of the decking area would support its use all year round. It added, alongside the creation of an additional entrance doorway, the promenade-facing elevation would be altered to provide enlarged windows and updated cladding treatment to enhance the appearance of the building and improve visitor experience. An extension to the existing WC block to the west of the building would include 4 additional toilets. A new entrance lobby would provide direct access to the WCs and also act as a new access point into the function room directly from the gardens. Ownership confirmed. Wyre Council recently confirmed that Marine Hall will remain under council management following the conclusion of a procurement process to appoint an external operator. In a move which they say reaffirmed its long-term commitment to supporting culture, community and local economic growth, the councils decided to end the procurement exercise for Marine Hall without making an award. Primary school placed in special measures by Ofsted. A school has been placed in special measures after inspectors concluded it was failing to provide an acceptable standard of education. Ofsted inspectors discovered pupil attendance was lower than the national average, and pupils with special educational needs and disabilities, SEND, were not doing as well as expected. They also found teachers were failing to crack down on disruptive behaviour in class, making learning hard for youngsters. Now leaders and governors at 282-pupil Charles Sayre Community Primary School have been told improvements must be made immediately. Special measures is the most serious category applied to schools by Ofsted. If a school in special measures fails to improve, it can be forced to become part of an academy or even closed down. The report, compiled by lead inspector Diane Holcroft, paints a grim picture of everyday life at the school on Grange Road, Fleetwood. It says pupils are failed as soon as they enter the school, with early years provision described as failing to help youngsters build their knowledge. Particular criticism is reserved for the teaching of SEND children, where pupils do not receive consistently effective support. Inspectors report disadvantaged pupils do not achieve or attend as well as they should. Nearly a quarter, 22%, of children at the school have special educational need support, and this part of the school was marked for urgent improvement. The inspectors said pupils with SEND fall furthest behind. As a result, too many pupils leave Year 6 without the knowledge that they need for secondary school. Poor attendance and behaviour was also singled out by the inspection team. The report reveals pupils' rates of attendance are far lower than the average for the whole country. Too many children have too much time off school, and this disrupts learning. Disadvantaged pupils miss the most school, and this compounds their poor achievement. And the inspection team also reported that lessons were often disrupted by bad behaviour. Pupils do not behave well enough to learn in too many lessons, says the report. Staff do not apply the school's behaviour policy consistently, and as a result, many pupils do not experience the calm, orderly environment they need. However, staff did receive praise for the way they tackled bullying, with inspectors noting bullying occurs, but adults respond quickly and effectively. Leaders make clear that discrimination, harassment, and abuse are not tolerated. The school's leaders and governors were criticised for not responding to recommendations for improvements in its previous Ofsted report. Leaders have not acted with sufficient urgency since the previous inspection to raise staff's expectations of what pupils can achieve, said inspectors. In particular, leaders were taken to task for not acting with sufficient urgency to improve pupils' standards of education and improving the school for SEND pupils. Miss Holcroft said, as a result, disadvantaged pupils and those with SEND receive little of the support they need to be successful at school. The report's conclusion admitted children felt safe at the school, but in educational terms they're being shortchanged. It said, pupils at this school do not achieve as well as they should, and not enough is expected of them. Environment Agency says closure still option for landfill. The Environment Agency will not hesitate to take further enforcement action if it does not see improvements at Fleetwood Jameson Road landfill site. The closure is an option albeit a long way down the road, if operators Transwaste do not deal with the toxic smell situation. The lingering, putrid smell continues to affect people living in the town and have escalated their campaign to force Transwaste to deal with the situation through protests and public meetings. Wyre Council issued the company with an abatement notice that is valid for 60s, and they must tackle the nuisance smell effectively within that timescale. An EA spokesman said the community should not have to tolerate odour pollution, and we have made this position clear to Transwaste, the site operator. Our regulatory action has led to the landfill site being fully covered to reduce odour risk. We have also pressed Transwaste to urgently install permanent capping for 2 landfill cells to prevent future odour emissions. Our officers are on the ground actively monitoring the situation, and if we don't see improvements, we will not hesitate to take further enforcement action. Through an update on its dedicated engagement page on May the 7th, the agency stated that if the operator does not demonstrate that odour can be effectively controlled, we will continue to escalate our regulatory response and consider all available options, including further restrictions or closure. It also said there have been 741 odour reports recorded so far in May. While this is a reduction compared to April, where reports were 2,697, the level of odour remains unacceptable, and the agency recognises that it continues to affect residents' quality of life. The Regulation 36 notice that was put in force since 30th of January 2026 has now been lifted. This is because the operator has now covered the selected areas with soil type material across cells 5 and 6. This does not mean that the issue is resolved, but we still expect the operator to deliver a permanent cap on these cells. The operator is drilling 6 new gas wells in cell 6. The work was due to start on Monday and be completed by the end of this week. While this work is being carried out, there may be some localized off-site odour. I turned grief over mum into an award-winning business. A local Thornton business owner who began creating memorial keepsakes after the loss of her mum has been recognised with a major regional award for her work helping families navigate grief through meaningful, personalised jewellery. Sarah Shaw, founder of Floral Eternity, has been named Memorial Jewellery Specialist of the Year 2026-27 at the Manchester and North West Prestige Awards. The recognition follows a standout year for the business, which was also a finalist in the Coastal Radio Local Business Awards and shortlisted for the Enterprise Vision Awards. Sarah originally began preserving funeral flowers in resin after her mother passed away, creating keepsakes for her own family before realizing others could benefit from the same comfort. Sarah said, "What started as something personal for my own family slowly became something much bigger. There were so many people who didn't know what to do with sentimental items after losing someone they loved. Today, Floral Eternity creates bespoke memorial and keepsake jewellery using ashes, funeral flowers, breast milk, hair, fur fabrics, and other personal inclusions. Each piece is designed in collaboration with clients and hand-finished with care. The business also offers a local collection service across the Fylde coast, allowing families to safely hand over precious items in person. Before launching her company full-time, Sarah worked in banking for over 22 years, alongside earlier careers in hairdressing and travel. Experiences, she says, helped shape her approach to customer care. Judges praised the business for its professionalism and exceptional customer feedback. Sarah added, "To be recognized for something that began from love and loss is incredibly emotional. Every piece represents someone's story, and that means everything to me." That is the last of our reading for the Fleetwood Weekly News. So from June and Phil, may we wish you a very pleasant week, a happy one. So take care. Bye-bye.